Alright, welcome guys. Just started playing the weekly Crazyhouse arena, joined a bit late. But that's alright. We still have a lot of time left to try and win this tournament. Okay, let's castle. Pawn g4 is a bit annoying indeed, but I felt like knight g5 is okay. He should have tried knight takes d4 maybe. Now we'll just go c3 to cover this d4 square. Okay, now I feel like sacking here. I'm taking on h6. I'll go bishop d3 back to make this a bit more powerful. Okay, now we sack and take the rook. Now I'm threatening to take here, since there's this pin. And I've just an okay position. He's also still fine, I believe. Okay, let's try knight at h5. To maybe go pawn at g7. And queen takes g4. Maybe he missed this idea. Bishop at g6 or pawn at g6 is fine, I guess. But now just queen h3 back, and this knight is hanging. And the knight is actually a pretty good defender in front of the king most of the times. But now I'll probably take it, since it's with check and it's just feels like the right thing to do. Yeah, he falls for the same idea. There's still this pin on f5. Alright, I think there should be some sort of mate with pawns on these three squares. And I have enough pawns, so. Even a bishop to spare. Alright, happy with that. First game in the bag. Let's see, already 100 players playing this. Few guys already on 20 points. But it's, yeah, you can see it's already been half an hour since it started. Alright, let's berserk some. Play a usual knight f3 and d4 g3 system. Okay, now I'll go for knight c3 and take on d5, and then pawn d5 is very strong. You can take like this and sacrifice the queen for a few pieces. Also possible. And now this is just very annoying. And his bishop on f5 is also undefended. And now he just sacks the queen, or gives it away. Yeah, if he takes here, knight at h6 and bishop at g7, mate in a few moves. Alright, so 2 games. This one was a bit easier than against the previous opponent. I'm just trying to get some practice in before my Crazyhouse World Championship match on Friday. A lot of new names for me, so that's good. That new players are picking up the love for Crazyhouse. And this is very common, of course. You can also take with the E pawn, but I prefer to take with the G pawn most of the times to create this rook G8 and maybe make him play rook G1 so he can't castle anymore. And then you can argue that the black king is slightly better because this is more secure than this. But for example, knight at G4, knight at G3 already ran into pawn at F4 here, so rook G8 is probably necessary here. Okay, let's move on. Exploiting the pin. Whoa. So basically winning the piece here. I'm going for knight at D6 here. Maybe he will give up the bishop, and then I have bishop at G2 ideas, or knight E4. He misses bishop at G2. Double attack. Hi Kadask, welcome. Let's go bishop h6. Bit sneaky, threatening knight at D2 mate. And maybe lurking him into attacking these 2 pieces with queen takes h7. Probably he won't play queen takes h7. Okay, let's go bishop at e4. Just being safe. Now we can harass the rook and pick it up with check. And now it should be almost game over. He can run to b4, rook b8 though. I lack a few pieces now, but that's fine. Now I'm threatening pawn at b4 with mate in a few moves. Queen at b5 afterwards takes b3. And if he runs to a2, I have knight c1. Let's go a5. Okay, there we go. Rook at rook takes. c5 would have prolonged the game a little longer, but It was over anyway. Okay. So 10 points. Maybe I'll get paired with Fairy and Bunny, also just started. Has 10 points. Let's see. We have to get past these guys. And they were at the same point as when I started, so should be possible to catch up soon. But there are some people, like I was going to say Banana Joe and King Sacrifice, who I've suffered against before in these kind of tournaments. Okay, let's aim for a quick e5. If he takes, then I'll take back. I won't take on d5 now, not opening up his bishop. That easy. Yeah, I think bishop e7 is slightly inaccurate, because this is already very annoying for him to deal with. I think I'll just take and go pawn at f6. Because rook takes g2, always have king h1 if necessary, but I can just take since the squares for the knight to attack me are blocked. And if he takes here first, I'll take back, and then the same situation. But rook g8 is a move where you basically are saying, okay, I give up for now and hope for the best, because it's just a free attack for white then. Hi Mixu Chess, yeah, thanks. Happy to contribute to the house Discord server. Well played to Catask as well. What a performance. Okay, maybe he's trying to figure out something with rook takes g2. First he takes, and maybe now rook takes g2. He wants to go there. Okay. And I'll just go bishop at g5. Knight at h5 is very possible as well, but bishop at g5 is well, also good enough, I feel. And I gave him some more material and the queen on f6, so maybe then rook takes g2 lines and pawn here could have been annoying. Probably not, but not enough for black, but still not worth the risk if you have just a equally good move. Okay, this is a nice idea. If I take on f6, he has knight at h3 and take f2. So now I'll go knight at h5. And well, I don't think any lines with knight takes g5 should work. I'm just gaining a queen. And the queen, if I get the queen with check, I should be mating soon, or at least get a very comfortable position. Problem is as well is if he goes queen g6 or queen f5, for example, to sidestep. Queen g6 is a bit more logical. I take the rook and I mate on d8. Okay, he's going to try this. But after these two checks, yeah, he can take once more with check, but then it's over. And I already have some pieces to work with. For example, now if he takes with the knight, knight at f6 is made in 2, I believe. Yeah, 2. Because g7 is covered by the knight. So queen at e8 was made. Okay, happy to take that one. It was a good example, I think, of the weaknesses that occur on g7 in the French e6 d5 structures. It wasn't an e6 d5 opening, but it's a recurring theme. When you play e6 bishop here and this knight is removed, then a knight on h5 attacks g7. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, due to its move order, I think I can play e5 now, since there is no queen trade. Oh, he's sacrificing the queen. I'll opt to take it, because now queen takes d2, surely. Okay, that was a very easy win. He could maybe try some other things running with the king, but after that I don't think you can take on c6. You could try the rook takes d1 there, maybe, and make it a real queen sacrifice, but I don't believe it's that threatening for black. Okay, so we're in third, together with some other players. We play against Fairy and Bunny. Who had a very, I think Fairy and Bunny played against mastertan. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But and had a very nice match indeed. So it's not to be underestimated, this opponent. I feel like going e6 maybe. Yeah, let's go e6. It weakens f6 a bit, so might come back to haunt me, but for now I'm fine. Idea is to maybe create something with the queen. Because now d4 is hanging as well. Let's take on d4 first. I don't believe queen takes f7 is something, so queen just has to move. And now we'll take on h4. And there is this idea of knight takes e2 and bishop at h2. We'll go for that. I feel like this knight should have taken on e2, because now the knight is just lost, basically. Yeah, and this is going to end badly. Knight at h3, pawn at g4. Already looks very good for me. Or just remove the bishop first. Okay, in first. And Bughouse Knight in second. Already this loss is against me, I believe, yeah. So I'll probably see him again if he keeps on playing. And now we'll have to try to consolidate our position, of course. I intend to play the whole tournament. Alright, because knight again. Let's play a d4. Okay, I'll play this. I think queen g4 is strong here. Probably can even take on g7 first. Because when he runs to g7, which probably he has to do soon, there's bishop at f6, but now I maybe messed it up. Let's see. Ah, no, it still works. Pawn here, bishop at f6. Rook at g7, g4. Point is that if he takes the bishop, I gain the queen with check, and it should be mate as well. Yeah, queen g4 probably wins on the spot there, with the fork on the knight on e4 and pawn on g7. Okay, but it's nice with Bughouse Knight. I haven't played him before this tournament, but that's a respectable rating. It's nice to beat someone that easily. And I'm on the good side of 2400 again. It's been a while. Okay, let's play d4. Arrest this one. Let's go bishop at h5. He'll probably sacrifice. Then I can just take and maybe go bishop here. Okay, he does not sacrifice. Let's go queen c3 first, pawn at d4 to be expected, and then queen g3 covering here. Okay, so far he's not playing the moves I expect, so okay, there we go. Bit unconventional this, but that's nice for a change. Yeah, let's go knight at d5. Nice controlling square. Bit hard to develop these pieces though. But then again, he's also not having easy development as well. Hey Patatine, welcome. point is that if he takes here, then I have a fork on these two knights. Could go some queen d7 maybe after taking. Okay, that just hangs this one. Okay, let's go knight e5. If he trades and goes knight c6, probably this is mate. Ah, it is. It is covered, so it's not. I almost played that. But alright, queen f5 should be nice. Just play it slow with bishop at f6. Or bishop takes f7 ideas. And now I'll go queen h3 at some stage. Let's see, and there should be mate here as well. Or at least almost mate. Ah, this knight is covering nicely though. So I'll just take this. And now pawn at g7 comes, or queen at g7. Making it a bit more complicated than necessary, but alright. Gallery play, let's go with that. Should not do that all the time, because sometimes it bites you in the ass. Let's see, let's go pawn at h3. Don't know if this is good for white. It feels like this should be okay for me. Ah, this is a nice idea, knight at d4. Don't know if it's good though. Probably just knight at h4 is fine as well. Okay, let's go knight at h4. Rook g3, pawn at f4. Or knight at f3 anyway. I could put it here as well, because if you take with the queen, knight at d4 or knight at f3 forks. That was one of the ideas. Okay, he's threatening to take my queen, of course. So I'll retreat the queen, keep the queen for now. Queen can come back to d7 if necessary. And the rook is still trapped, basically. And there are also some ideas for sacking the queen for this knight. Okay, let's go pawn at f4. Try to take the knight. Because knight at d4 is just really strong. since the queen and the bishop are covering the retreat, so then the king has to move up. Or even knight at g1, also an option. Okay, let's take. And take this as well. Pawn at d7 I'll take with the bishop. Okay, let's take. Just take some pieces. If he goes bishop at e6, there was queen b5. Okay, winning the queen. Not the safest conversion here though. Knight at g4 is mate. I missed the simple idea of pawn at f7 and rook at e8 after giving up this rake. Yeah, if you wanna beat me, you have to join this tournament, yeah, because I'm playing it for a while. Okay, well done by Baka's knight. It's hard in your calculations ahead when you don't see a rook on his bank, but you are going to sacrifice the rook, but so you have to take that into account as well. But sometimes you miss that, and then you don't have thought about the ideas of pawn at f7, rook at e8 being dangerous, because pawn at f7, if he doesn't have a rook, is nothing. Oh, you're only 2350. Well, then I should be I'm nice to farm for you, rating wise. Okay, let's go bishop at e6. Threaten to take here with mate in 2. King h8, pawn at g7. If you take, there's bishop at e6. Okay, quick win after that loss. Always good to recover quickly. Snel is Dutch. I mean quickly. Okay, golden rule 1 wants to berserk. Alright, let's play this knight c6, knight f6. And bishop e4. This has all been played a lot of times. Don't know about this particular variation though. I think maybe bishop g5 is a better idea. We'll see. Okay, let's take. If he takes on g7, knight at e2, I guess. Or knight at h3. Let's try knight at e2. Not entirely sure if this is the best way. Guess I have to go knight at f5. Okay, let's go rook h8. If knight here, probably pawn at g2. But I'm not liking this at all. I'm playing this extremely bad. Okay, let's try this. And now we should just take here, I guess. Now this e6 openings, maybe I should just stop playing them altogether. If I'm not paying attention, I get in a lot of trouble. Okay, good game by Golden Rule. Yeah, queen takes c6, beautiful mate indeed, Petadine. You're right. Well executed. Alright, variant bunny again. Let's go d4, knight f3. Yeah, knight f3, g3, h3. Okay, maybe not. h5 is actually a nice way to play against this, because you, as well as h6, I should add, because you get this h4 idea, and you also get a retreating square for the bishop after knight h4. which is a good thing, I'd say. Okay, but now knight b5 may be annoying. I could repeat this. Could also go for this and knight and bishop at e5. Queen f8 defense, but then black's pieces are a bit cramped. And now I can get a knight on d6. And take d5. Maybe trade queens. Bishop at e6 or c6 I can take first and then take the queen. Queen takes f7 probably is a bit too much. So I'll go here and trade and go pawn at f6. Getting in on the king. Just take back, I guess. I had no way. Pawn at g7 is not necessary. Now the knight comes and pawn at e7 or c7. Yeah. I didn't see a forced mate just yet, but resigning is... I think white was winning and probably had forced mate. Okay, so the number 2 and 3 are not competing anymore or are having a break. So I'm in clear first. Let's try to get some more beautiful games. And I'm of course I hope I'm the one getting the beautiful mates, but I can appreciate a mate as the one by Golden Rule, who executed nicely. I played a 5 to control e4 a bit more, but the problem is that you give away e5 again. This is a bit sloppy. If I wanted to cover this one, I could have played queen d7 immediately, or just bishop here. He pinned the pawn, so then it was possible for him to take on d7. Okay, let's develop the knight. See what he wants to do. He might want to go over here. I walked into a fork here. Okay. Let's go like this. Fortunately, he only has a rook to work with now, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's preserve the pieces. Okay, he wants to trade queens. I guess that's a good idea for him. I think I can go here. Knight takes g7 is fine. if I just don't take it, maybe I can even take it. But I want to take one of these knights away, so that I can go pawn at e2 and maybe knight at e4. Or bishop takes f2 with the same idea. Alright, we'll take here and go. Oh, he's sacrificing. I feel like he doesn't have enough material here. After, let's say, this one. Maybe king d1 was sufficient, but okay. Now I have this idea of taking knight takes d4. And then it should be made with two queens. Alright, this guy again. Now he's opting for a different move order. Let's go knight at d6 to maybe go f6. Looks a bit scary, but takes, knight f7, cover here. And now soon I can go bishop b4 and create some squares for the king. If queen h5, not bishop g6, because then he can take here. What is this? I'll just drop back, I guess. And next move I can open up the squares. Okay, but he's found a way to continue. But still, knight takes e6 takes back, and then this is hanging, so then he has to go knight e5 again. Feel like I should be safe. Yeah, bishop gonna go here, c3, knight at e3. I'll pick up this one. Let's go g6 to secure some squares. It opens up this one, of course, but he has nothing in hand. No diagonal to work with. Now I can go bishop g7. And just take my time picking this up. I'll even give him a bishop for it, I don't mind. Because bishop at c5, alright, is a move. Don't feel like blocking. But maybe I should do that. Queen takes d5. Might not be that good. pawn here on g2, promoting. It's already looking good. Okay, knight at g2. I want to go knight c4, but the knight is pinned. So let's take here. To go pawn at c3, for example. Queen takes b7 is possible, because then you open up a square for the knight on d5. Not going for it. Ah, he had to take at least once, because then he could run to c4. But either way, then it's just looking good for black. Okay, let's play e4. Let's go bishop e2. And just maybe taking here is also fine with some e6 threats, but now I'm just nicely developed. Let's go d5. Make use of the fact that he hasn't played this knight of 6 just yet, or the bishop out. And now already squares around this king are looking a bit unsafe. Take first with the bishop, or take the bishop first. If the king moves back, there's probably some b takes c6. Looks nice anyway. Pawn at c7 and then knight at e5 maybe. Because this knight is looking at c6 as well. Not so convincing though. Seems like he has everything covered. Okay, let's sack some more. Because now there's maybe bishop at b5 if he takes. And then the knight comes into d5. And now these 3 squares of the king running up are covered. And now I can put a pawn on b7, gain a rook. And then it should be mate. It's nice how the knight and bishop are controlling all these important squares. He might have some better line there, I don't know for sure, but at least it's a nice theme, the knight and the bishop on b5, d5. Alright, so Winter Villa is coming in strong with only one loss. Let's see if some other new names might be coming in soon. Igor is also without loss. Alright, we'll see. Almost at the halfway point. So enough games to go. Okay, let's go for this again. What to play? Let's go bishop d7. Take with the bishop. Okay, now I'll move the knight to e4. Feel like sacking here. Because now this knight has to move back to b1 or just give it back. And then it's sort of justified what I did. I have to watch out for ideas like e6 though. As long as he doesn't have a pawn in hand, I'm sort of okay, but it's a bit double-edged to play pawn at b4 here. Probably just e6 is a lot safer. Yeah, there he goes. No, I think I'll have to take it. And go here, and then go something like queen d6 or some idea like that. Or maybe queen b8. Oh, let's go queen d6. He can win my queen now with knight at f7 if he wants it to. Let's go knight e4 in between, see where he moves. Okay, but now at least I have some sort of defensive setups as well as some threats with knight taking the knight and knight at g3. Okay, now I'll just take this one since he has no knight left. He probably took on d6 already first in his head or something. I don't know. Bishop f4 or bishop at f4 is fine now. Let's go to d8. If he moves the knight, there's bishop b5 is annoying, because he has nothing in hand to block with. And that's usually not a good thing, because in your head knight g3 for example now seems like a good idea to try to trade the knight, but then bishop b5 is just really hard to deal with. Threatening to take here, and if you move knight at e3 comes in. He deals with it. Okay, let's fix this problem of him dropping a knight here, since my bishop is still undeveloped. My bishop should be away so the king can move back, but now the king is relatively safe as well. If he had a lot of pawns or bishops, he could try to break through on e6, but he doesn't have that, so. Now I can even try to go for g5, actually. Yeah, let's go for it. Also blocking his idea, maybe he wants to go queen h4. Let's go bishop e5. The idea is if he goes here, I've double check ideas. I think knight d2 and just take the knight back. And next there is this idea of knight at h3 and knight at f3. Winning the queen. And also close to mate, actually. But not entirely just yet. Let's see if we can find a way to make that mate. I think we'll start with queen d6. Try to move the queen into play. Because now I can safely take the bishop. Yes. Okay, next we'll go for this knight at h3 idea, which forces the queen into my hand with check. And now I have extra bishop, so felt like that might help me get mate, but actually it's still not mate just yet. But I can always just take this pawn back and claim some safety. Okay, let's do that. I was too focused on this idea. It's a nice idea, but it's not winning. And now with the extra pawn, it might have won immediately. Okay, but he blocks. And now it's just a flag. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe taking here, but don't know if it's enough. But he also had just a few seconds left, so let's not get. And there's no increment, so was no need to think it out. Not the most beautiful way to win, but sometimes you have to be practical. And I found myself a lot of times in these situations where where I'm taking up too much time to find something beautiful or forcing, and then it doesn't work, and then I've just consumed a lot of time. Thanks, Beeferl. You're welcome to join the stream anytime. Alright, king sacrifice. Going for bishop e2. It's a bit quiet, but not to be underestimated at all. I'm going h6 because I want to go pawn at e4 maybe. Okay, I'll take this. Because now, knight at, if I go bishop e7 for example, knight at h5, immediately it's very strong. Alright, I'll take this trade for the rook. Because now queen g5. Don't know if queen g5 is best. Probably is good. Let's go queen e4 because I feel like, well, I'm threatening mate of course, but I feel like knight at f3 might run into some problems. Pawn g4. He's already accepting that this was a good idea by me, by going pawn g2, giving up the knight. Alright, I guess I'll take and go queen takes e5. There's also knight at h3 now. It will be their next move as well, I guess. If he, for example, goes knight at d3 or knight at g4. Because now queen takes e2 and the queen and the rook can drop on the back rank, and it will be very powerful. Let's first drop the rook. Okay, and I'll take the knight. Maybe queen takes f1 already is very good. Let's see if he takes back. Yeah, it probably is good enough. Queen at d1 after that, and then bishop at h3. So he realizes that and he tries something. Okay, we'll take on f3. Knight e2 is now the mate idea. And pawn g2 is possible. But I felt this might be good enough. With knight at e4 to follow. Let's calculate. Take. Move back loses, so he takes back. Take. Knight at e4. Take the rook is mate in 1. Move up. And I'll take the knight. And then knight at Let's just go for it and wing it, basically. So if you move back knight e2, knight f2 is common mate. And now there's probably bishop at e2. Pawn at g5. I must admit I did not see it all the way through, but I felt like it should be good enough. And it is. Alright, that's nice. Nice queen sacrifice. Happy with that. Alright, so Fairy and Bunny is 22 points behind. That was the first loss for king sacrifice actually, so that's good. Alright, below me. Who I played 5 times against. I believe this was the last last few games in the Elite Arena last Saturday. Okay, let's go for a quick e5. Oh, he goes knight e7, h7, alright. Use knight g4 or letting me take is what I'm used to, but this might work. Queen d3. Yeah, it's looking a bit shaky for black, and I'm trying to figure out how to make use of that, but the problem is that I'm using a lot of time to figure it out. Now probably just bishop at f5 is okay. He might not want to play it due to breaking up his king, but I think it's a good move. Might have been better to put the bishop on e4 to create here threats here. Okay, now I can go for this and d5. If you take back with the pawn, knight can take here. And the knight is covering e5, so queen takes e5 just runs into knight takes e5. Okay, let's go e6. Sacrifice a pawn to open up f7. And maybe rook e1 can come in at some stage. Okay, let's move back with the queen. Not entirely sure about this. It might be good for black, but this is looking dangerous. Okay, now I'm setting up a nice idea. The king is now boxed in, So next move I can play knight e5 maybe. I can still play it, basically winning the queen. If he takes the queen, then I'm winning. So he has to move the queen, and then maybe knight d5 is good. Oh, knight d7, I mean. Yeah, let's go for that. You can take this one. But yeah, queen e6. I'm sacrificing a lot, so he might be safe. Okay, let's watch our time. And play a bit quicker. Not looking good. Okay, I just wasted too much time there calculating funny lines which weren't there, and then I gave up too much material as well. Well played. Okay, let's play e4. And bishop b5. Thanks for the follow, Daniel. Yeah, let's go queen b5. It's a bit dangerous leaving the back rank, but this looks dangerous as well for him. Okay. I feel like that was not the best play for black. Probably bishop at d7, and you can take everything and be safe. But your king is on d7 and it's a bit in the open, and I've only lost a pawn with a pawn and a rook for a bishop. So I think that should be okay. At least there's some compensation for white with the king being on d7 in that position. Alright, Banana Joe again. Let's go e4 again. Play some more e4. Okay, let's stick to this knight f3, bishop d7. Takes, yeah, a6. I don't like a6 for black. Let's see if he wants to play the same line. Bishop e7, knight at h5 was the previous game. So probably he's remembering now that in these kinds of position I always like to play bishop at h5 or bishop at g4 or g6, just putting the bishop on one of these squares. And he agrees now. Because then you can take the knight or can move back, and at least the bishop is covering h5 for a while. Because g7 is actually weaker than f7 in these lines. Okay, you can try knight h4 now and take on g2, but I'm not worried about that. Yeah, let's take with the pawn. For example, if knight h4, just queen g4. If knight takes g2, I won't take back. I can take back maybe, but I'll probably just go bishop g5 first to develop my pieces and create threats against black. Because a knight in front of your king is a good defender. Which is funny, but there's the reasoning behind is that the knight cannot check you from g2. I believe even there's this classical game by Aronian where he plays could be for Shailagraph, I'm not entirely sure, but where Aronian has this idea of a knight in front of his king on g2 and g1. Bishop at g5, yeah, that's probably better, because now I'm hanging this knight at f3 trick. This is the this is the calm Palatine. You're completely right. Should have played the other one, because now I'm just worse. Okay, but we'll see if we can make something out of nothing. Okay, let's go knight h5. Let's go for a cheapo. Of knight at f6 is the cheapo. Okay, he spots it, but at least he has used his bishop. So now I can go queen at g3. And if pawn at f3 I can take it. For those wondering, the threat is here knight at h5 or knight at f6. Takes like this. King e7, or if king d8, queen at d8. If king e7, bishop at d8. Pushes the king up, or pushes the king up, or take the bishop. And then there's the same mate on e8, and if you push up, there's queen at c5. So Banana Joe spotted that, but now he has to find some way to keep his initiative. And I guess he found a nice way. I'll take back with the rook. And I felt like maybe I should get a bishop on g2 to defend. And then the bishop is also looking at this square. Okay, now knight f4. Might run into bishop d6. Not so easy. Okay, let's go knight c5. I just give up this knight. Knight at c5. If he takes, there are some new possibilities, and if he doesn't take, there's maybe some pawn at d7, b7 idea. Just trying to complicate matters in time trouble. He could have tried, no, knight at g4 maybe, but let's go bishop or knight a5. Let's not sacrifice just yet. Okay, I'll have to take that. Maybe I should not have taken that. Probably losing now, so let's move quickly. Maybe I'll create some sort of flagging situation. Create c3, another square for the king. Okay, time. Got lucky there. Yeah, Patterdine pointing out in the chat earlier that bishop at g5, then it's just very good for white. And with bishop g5, just playing it seems like a developing move, so seems strong, but then you run into that trick, and then I'm just worse. And in the end, I just got lucky that he took too much time trying to figure out the complications that were in the position. Alright, this guy again. Let's try to take revenge. Okay, let's go knight e4 and e6. It's a bit passive with the bishop on d7. So yeah, h4 is a nice idea. Let's reroute the knight to f5. might be e3, which I looked at, which I think is interesting. The idea is that if you take, there's bishop at h4 and taking here. Regaining this knight. If you sacrifice the knight, there might be bishop takes h2 first, being annoying for white. Okay, so he really realizes that. Let's attack with bishop c6, preserve the pawn in hand, as well as creating later on maybe the square on d7. And the pawn might be useful now, for example, on d4. Could try some rook takes h4, bishop at g5 ideas. Okay, he goes for knight at f6, but this I don't believe in that much. Could just sidestep immediately or take once and then sidestep. I think I'll choose for sidestepping now, not giving him any material in hand. So for example, if bishop at g5, rook at h1 is very annoying now, because then he has no blocker left. So he has to move here, for example. Okay, d5 feels like a good move. Let's take. Now bishop g5 is coming. So let's go rook at h1 now. Make him use the bishop that he intended to use here. Not entirely sure though if this is the best way for me to go. But alright. I don't see any really good checks. Knight takes e7 is threatening, but I think just takes. Should be alright. He only has pawns. And in the meanwhile, there's all kinds of threats that he has to deal with. Alright, this is nice, because this removes a defender. Could try to go here, but then maybe some knight b6, knight d6 ideas. Or let's just take it. And now we can block or sidestep. I think sidestep is fine. I need the queen to be on d1, because rook takes f1, pawn d2 is also a threat I did not mention before, but is, well, a really serious one. So he has no time for knight takes e6. Again, we have this, starts to be a theme in the last few games, where the knight is actually a good defender in front of the king. Okay, so let's try to figure out maybe some way to defend. I guess maybe you could try to take here. But then pawn g2 is already very annoying, so you don't want to do that. If you take with the queen, there's some rook takes f1, knight at h2 ideas. Let's just go for that. My king is well defended by this beautiful knight. Okay, let's go rook takes f2. Take with the knight, I'll take this one. And now all the defenders are removed. So I should be able to find some mate here. Let's start with pawn at g3. Okay, knight at g1. King d2, bishop at c1. Yeah, this is mate, I feel like. Let's just take this. Should be the easiest way to mate. Alright. Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice game. Stepping into the check with the knight on d5. There might be some better check there. I don't know for sure, but felt like good for black anyway. And after that, that's a nice finish. Okay, so 71 points. Tournament victory seems in the bag. Let's see. No one coming on the second page. Alright, big house knight again. Though not really sure what I'm playing here. For example, knight g5 looks already very strong. But alright, we'll make something of it. Okay, and now it's already not looking that bad anymore. Some fake chances. Might arise. Not too happy with this though. This decision to play f6. Can I make something of this? Let's take here. Take once more. Yeah, now there's this idea, but probably it's he can just sack the queen. He's giving up some knights though, which may be useful. But probably not enough. No, I'll resign. This is just winning for white. Opening experience gone wrong. Experiment gone wrong. But okay, we can afford it. Right, let's berserk some more. Try to make this e6 thing work again. Keep developing. Now I'll take on d6 or e5. Because now e5 is hanging. There are some ideas with pawn at f4 though. And then knight takes f7 after that. But I should be fine with a pawn on f6 afterwards. Or a bishop at g6. Okay, if he doesn't take on f7, I'll just fortify. Go h6. Since the knight has no squares to retreat to. e4 was the only square basically, but he took that one away. Okay, and he resigns very early there, but it was already looking good for black, I think, as well. I guess that's the one of the pros of being 2400, that people believe that you can win better positions. But often it's better to let them prove it for a while, because I tend to make mistakes. Okay, let's go e4. Okay, Scandinavian game. Let's play this b4 It's in regular chess. It's till this stage. It's a chess game basically. But there are some interesting ideas as well for Crazyhouse. Thanks for the follow, Yannick. Okay. Bishop b2 or rook b2. Let's go rook b2. Keep tempo on the queen. Okay, rook b5. Trying to get bishop c4 in maybe, or pawn at e6. And he has gained a lot of pawns, of course. He's 3 pawns up, but there are already 3 pieces of me in play. And this is not, of course, there's more possible than what he did, but it's looking funny. And I feel like activity is also very important in Crazyhouse games. Okay, rook c5. Queen b6, pawn at a5. And then c7 is falling. Oh, that's a slip. I meant pawn a5, of course. But we'll make it work. We'll just repeat. Now he has to go queen b1. Which is actually looking interesting. Rook b5. Because there was some pawn at b2 idea if I took on c7. And now I'm forking. Elf 11 moves in a row with the queen. Let's see. Move 2 till move 11. Yeah. So 10, a lot, a lot indeed. Let's just take back. Because I like bishop at b7 next. Because this is also covering the knight if queen e6, for example. Okay, rook b2. My rook has been for quite some moves on b2 as well. Okay, I'll take the rook and block with the rook since the knight is hanging. And now mate is hanging as well. Okay, let's take. You cannot take here because there's pin. And now it should be forced mate in a few moves. Take here, take the escape square away, and then take on d8, knight at b7, queen at d8. Alright, fun game. It's a funny variant against the Scandinavian, where he gets a lot of activity early. But yeah, 10 moves in a row with the queen, that's a bit too much. Alright, Arshia 50, let's play e4 again. Okay, let's just play this. Knight f3 and bishop d3. Let's go bishop d2, because if take here and knight g5, knight takes e5 is annoying. So let's just play like this. Put a knight on g5 now. Not knight g5 this time. Threatening to take on f7. Let's go knight at h5 first. I want to leave the queen on d2 for now to cover c2 with any knight at c2 ideas. And now that he used up all his pieces, I can probably castle first. And it's hard to find a useful move for black, it feels like. Every move you play compromises something. If king f8, I can just take back, since you cannot take the knight. And for that same reason, bishop at h6 runs into bishop at f6 probably. Or maybe knight takes e6, knight c5 ideas as well. Okay, this is a nice try, but he probably missed the fact that bishop at f6 wins his queen, since e8 is covered. It was a nice way to lure away my queen from the defense. Let's see if he wants to repeat this bishop idea. He does. Then we'll take the rook, I guess. Yeah. Let's take the rook. I was thinking about some defensive stuff as well, but he has no pawns, and even if he had a pawn, the king is safe on f1. And next I can go rook at g8, pawn at f7, ideas like that. Knight d6 is made probably. Alright, let's. Now he has to take with the knight or bishop, and then knight d6 is double checkmate. Rook ba cut away the last escape square. So this is checkmate. Yeah, he figured it out. Okay, and decided not to make another move. Okay, so still around 30 points ahead of the top 4. Some guy named Spread the Joy is coming in strong with only wins. Haven't heard of this guy before. I played him once, I see. Okay. Anjur Nakamura, a strong player as well, joining. But probably joined too late to catch me. But we'll try to keep on winning, of course. Not give the opposition any hope. Okay, let's go d5. Let's go queen e7. I feel like he normally you get this position with black to move, or with white to move, I should say. And now this might be an improvement for black. Took with the pawn, so now that f5 is not possible. It's very tempting to sack, so let's just go for it. With the rook on e1, there's always some knight at g4, pawn at f2 ideas, which you have to deal with. I used the h6 diag behind the knight on f7, using it to mate. Ah, yeah. Indeed, you're right, Petadine. It's a lovely idea. For example, now you're already in some sort of trouble because king f1, knight takes h2, and king g1, pawn at f2. Okay, so he decides to sacrifice the queen like this. But now I'm just a queen. Now I've just a queen, and he has no bishop at b7 to harass me, or the knight cannot drop here. Let's go queen at f4. Cover the bishop. Gate the knight. Let's take on d4. Was thinking about maybe sacrificing the queen, but that's a bit too much. I feel like I could sack the queen here for a knight. Let's go for it. Oh, he's believing me. Okay, so let's go pawn at e2. Just make this a bit crazy. Knight here, bishop here. Rook e2. Well, if king f1, I have to go knight f3, of course. Okay. King e1, knight f3, king d1, pawn at f2, e2, I mean. King e3, rook e2, and then you can go to c3. D3, bishop f5. King d4 is enough here. Okay, I'll have to take the pawn first and then queen c5. Or even more prettier, knight f3. Alright, Njur Nakamura. This will be a tough one. Strong player. Let's try something aggressive. Go for an early g4, h4. Okay, he immediately sacrifices. Okay, maybe he wants to go pawn f6 to be completely solid. Let's move the knight to d4 so that d3. I'm having trouble naming the squares correctly, but I'll hope you're all still following. Not to f3 because then it has no real future, but now here on h5 it can be useful, attacking h5 on f4 I mean. Let's go bishop at h3, threatening to take here, and then he has to give up the defense of one of these pawns. Good sack on h5. Looks interesting. Let's go for it. He could try bishop at e4, but pawn at g7 is a strong intermezzo there. Ideas, of course, if rook takes then knight at g7, and otherwise just picking up this pawn. Bishop at e4 is a bit annoying though, so okay, we'll get creative. Knight at d2, king d2, I guess. High over 2000 rating chess. Good for you. Okay, I guess I'll have to put a pawn on g2. Not that happy with it, but probably is the wise thing to do. Hi, Ominous. Any tips for improving Crazyhouse is asked by over 2000 rating chess. Well, if you're relatively new to the game, there's this really nice guide by mastertan which you can find on YouTube. If you just search for mastertan Crazyhouse, you should be able to find that, which has helped a lot of players. And playing is also, of course, an important one. Just get the hours in. It's on YouTube. Oh yeah, it's a blog. Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't know if it's on YouTube. On YouTube, you probably have to watch the okei stuff, who has a very broad spectrum of things on YouTube. I'm not sure if he has a beginner's guide, but it wouldn't surprise me if he does. Yeah, it's good to analyze games as well. I think Stockfish has Stockfish is has Crazyhouse under control. In the meantime, I've managed to get a losing position against Unju Nakamura. Let's allow that beautiful mate. But yeah, their computer analysis is nice, but if you do it on lead chess, you need to let it run for a while and let it play out some variance, because if your CPU is not that strong, it won't be very good analysis. But if you take some times, analysis and playing the computer indeed could be a good way to train as well. Okay, Banana Joe going for there's also this. I thought I had a command for it. I'll show you. You can check for this link where there's also some tips on Crazyhouse. It does part of a job indeed. Over 2000 rating. I'm also playing Crazyhouse in a bit of chess-like manner, I've been told. Your calculation skill helps, of course, and your insight, but some of the tactics are of course very Crazyhouse oriented, and you'll have to learn that, and you probably only learn that by doing or experiencing those tactics. But you can check out this link. I think there's some stuff there and some other references as well. Okay, let's focus on the game. Let's put a bishop here, otherwise bishop at h2. Okay, let's put a pawn on b5. If pawn h4, I just move back the bishop. Idea is to go knight e5 next. Yeah, those studies Pettine shared are also very useful, I think. Thanks for that. Okay, let's take the knight. Still looking to go knight at e5, pawn at g6 ideas. Usually people say when you start a new variant or a chess, they say start with the endgame. And the first thing I learned in chess was how to mate with just a king and a queen against a king, for example. I start in the endgame, but in Crazyhouse you can't really say start in the endgame, because, well, with the recycling of pieces, an endgame never occurs. But then you should then start with the mating patterns is a decent second one, I think. Let's go pawn at g2. I was thinking about knight at a 4 for a second, but then rook takes, and bishop at e3 is very useful. And now he can also choose to take, but it will be less powerful. Now he would really like a knight for e3, but he doesn't have one. So probably bishop at d6, try to gain a knight. But rook here is annoying. And knight takes c6 is also something to be considered. Yeah, of course it's also a good idea to watch players like Jan Lee. They're very strong. But I find myself not as strong as he is, but when he gives commentary to his games, I think I understand it, but I'm not sure if he or even I explain the game enough for beginners. So do ask questions if you don't understand stuff I'm saying. I'm happy to clarify stuff. Taking here, if he takes with the queen, queen at c6 is very strong. Or bishop at c6, I should say. Could take the rook, but it could also take on d7. And he cannot run because knight h7 is made. And if he runs here, this should be very strong. If not mating already. King c8, pawn d7. And if the king runs further, there's rook at c8. Okay. Yeah, okei's Twitch and YouTube is also very good for getting an understanding of the game. He's very thorough in his analysis and his explaining. Alright. Spread the joy. Yeah, I'm reasonable in a lot of variants indeed. I like to play variants. Before I played on Lead Chess, I played on free chess, Fix, where variant play was also present. I seem to have some talent for it indeed. Yeah, I have a feeder rating. My feeder rating is around 2100. I haven't checked it lately, so it could have changed. But it's around 2100. I'm not that active though. I'm only playing the Dutch league, which is one game per month or something. And now with the Corona crisis, it's of course 0 games. But when I'm done with studying, I probably will play some more tournaments, and I hope to increase my feeder rating. I think it's possible for me to go to 2200 and maybe even higher. But okay, that's ambition. It's good to have some ambition. We'll see if I can make it happen. Alright, 91, 20 minutes to go. Let's see if I can get to 100 points. Need 2 more games for that, should be possible. Alright, on it. go e6. If the pawn is not yet on e5, this bishop c4 most of the times runs into e6, d5, just winning a tempo. Yeah, true story. Yeah, overrating 2000 chess. I have the same problem. Switching back sometimes leads you to playing variants like openings, and then you think, well, alright, that's not the way to go in normal chess. There are some people that say it improves your regular chess, but I'm not too sure about that. Could be that your calculation skills are a bit more trained when you play variant chess. And of course it's a lot of fun. At least I think it is. But yeah, pattern recognition, which is one of the most important things in chess. You kind of lose that when you are playing variants. You try to get new patterns in your head. Alright, knight at f4 now, harassing the queen. That runs into me taking g2. There's always this knight e3 check. Which is nasty. So king g1 almost forced. Okay, let's go knight e3. Let's see if he goes king g1. Okay, he does not. Then queen here was made. Okay, then I'll just castle. Oh yeah, racing kings. I never took the time to learn that properly. Maybe it's something for the future. I tend to be better at the variants where, or relatively better where all the pieces are on the board in the beginning. The normal pieces, so horde is also a bit strange for me. Okay, opening up c2, threatening, of course, pawn at e2 now. Go rook b8. I was thinking about going rook takes b3. Let's do that. It basically wins this knight, because if you take with the knight, knight at b4 seems very strong. Not mating just yet, but close. Let's see what he wants to do. It's already very tough, of course. Queen at queen e5, okay. Let's see if we have a mate. take here, king d1, only move, not to get mated very quickly, I thought. I can just take the knight maybe, of course, as well. Rook here, king d1, then I need a pawn to mate. So I'll take on d3, because now I'm threatening mate, pawn at c2, as well as knight takes f2. Both should be hard to deal with. Okay, so 13 minutes to go. Probably one or two more games. You created a second account. You have to watch out with that though. I don't know if that's allowed on Lichess for just the goal of creating new ratings, but understandable maybe. If you leave a variant alone for you remove the first one. Alright, then it should be okay. Alright, got chi. Let's play this knight c6 e5, which is a bit dubious. Okay, if knight d4 c3 wins the knight, so you have to go knight e7. Okay, and if white plays like this, with no immediate pressure on your position, this works out nicely. Let's go bishop at b6. If bishop at f2, knight g4 is annoying. So queen d2 or something, and then knight g4 anyway. So already it's not so easy. This is a good move, I think. Somehow I have to sacrifice the queen soon. So let's go rook g8. If bishop takes here first. He already steps out of the check. Let's sack the queen. No, he does not want it. Or maybe I see you later overrating to over 2000 rating chess. Glad to have you. Have a good evening. I'll go queen e7. Because there's this annoying bishop at h7. Where I have to go rook f8. Okay, now I can go knight h4, I guess. If knight f5, I can trade. But it's not so easy. Let's go knight g5. One of the ideas is to sack the queen again. I want to go d7, but it feels a bit shaky. But alright, let's do it, because knight at f5 was coming anyway. Bishop at g6 seems like the only move to defend. Bishop here, king d8. If you have two knights, there's knight at c6 takes knight to b7 checkmate, but that he only has one. He could try queen takes d7 here, and then knight at f7, knight at f7, but I think I can just take everything there. Okay, he's going for it. With bishop at e6, I think king e8. Ah, there's knight that takes d6. Well spotted. I missed that. King here, knight takes d6. Very strong, so I have to sack the queen and run. And hope I can survive here. Nice idea by Gochi there. He has not a lot of pieces. I guess a move like knight c3 to create some knight takes d6 threats, and then the knight can jump to b5. Okay, he goes for this with the mate threat on d8. Alright, I will run and block with the queen first one time, and then go king a7. Okay, let's create counterplay. I feel like I'm safe on a7 as long as he doesn't have a knight. And now I'm creating threats of knight at g3, for example. And I'm also threatening to take the queen or the knight. Okay, king a7. Problem is rook at h3 is not working. You can just take pawn at g2. And if he had a knight row right now, I'm totally lost. It's hard to find the defense here. Okay, he's trying for a rook at f3. Let's just take h6. Now I can take here, I think. Yeah. Knight at g4. Cutting away the retreat. Getting a queen on board. And mating with the bishops. Okay, so got a bit lucky there that I could sacrifice my queen. And that he didn't have any material left. It was a nice find, the knight takes d6 idea. Alright, so we're on 100 points. Probably one more game, but if I don't finish it in time, it will not count towards the tournament score. But 100 is a nice round number. Okay, so let's just play a calm last game. Not berserk this one. Finish strong. e5, okay. Let's just take. And go knight c3, I guess. Because now I have this nice block of pawns here. And I'm threatening knight takes d5. Okay, let's go knight at g4 first. If he takes, I can take on d5 first. Can also just take back. It seems safer if I take on d5 first. There might be some queen e6, pawn d2 ideas. And next, my next move probably is knight at h5. Yeah, still is. Because now his queen is under attack, of course, so I can ignore some of his jacks. Let's just take once and go queen g2. There's really not much to worry about here. Now it's over. Yeah, he could have gone king h8 to prolong the game, but now there's this typical maneuver where you go knight h6 and bring the knight to f5. And then queen on g7 is checkmate. Okay. Alright, 100 points. Happy with that. That's gonna be it for today as well, guys. Not before though I show you, or I tell you that I will be playing next Friday 11 a.m. Central European summertime, so I think that's GMT +2. I will be there, and I will probably also stream that match. I might not comment as much as on my games as usual, but I will try to stream that match as well against Crazyhouse for their World Championship. So good games to my opponents who might be watching as well, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you a very good day.